Today, Precarious plays
Phantom Brave.
It's cold.
Buy a sweater. You have money now.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I can't tell because I'm a phantom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No worries.
In this case, it's actually positive.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to feel bad when you're trying so hard. It seems like something's missing since I can't feel hot or cold.
But couldn't you instantiate? Because you can still... There still has to be sensation. Otherwise, there wouldn't be like an HP meter, right?
I don't know.
Because that's what that has to represent. Because they fall unconscious, they don't dissipate when they run out of HP, unless they are overkilled, right?
I really don't know.
Really?
You should try being a phantom sometime. See for yourself.
Don't suggest that.
Ash, be careful what you wish for, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here comes eventual demise.
At least they're in good spirits about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
It was a guaroo.
Good spirits.
I
It could
heard
be the
it.
monster. Let's try to be more careful.
You're right.
Gotta pick up the pace. I had a thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking about necromancy, since fully 2/3 of the games that we're playing right now integrate that as a theme.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is providing a gate?
Is rock? Is great?
That's receiving sticky.
Is tree? Is on the other side of the wall, perhaps, just to be extra difficult?
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a great fish. Okay, that's keep out yellow. So as long as that fish is on the map, I think that this will remain. Really complicated level, and these are sticky, which I think it means that it doesn't slide. Thought that it meant that their turn timer didn't go down. Well, necromancy.
The beautiful world of necromancy.
I was thinking about it generally, and I had this flash of insight
Yeah.
where, not even spoilers for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. It happens in like the first
It happens in the
episode.
credits every time. The
yeah.
opening credits.
Right.
Like, really.
Okay. I think that the reason why Ed and Al fail at trying to resurrect their mother is because they're stumbling into a new field, a new school of magic. They're trained in practices related to transmutation, and they should have been using necromantic techniques.
Which must exist in the world.
Right, like I
They
think
have to,
that's...
because by the end of it,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, everything that happens, I think that they're just too mysterious. They're too shrouded in mystery in the series that we get to see.
that's interesting how, like, magical schools could overlap and you could get some of the same effects without actually knowing what you were doing.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that recently.
Like,
Do it.
because if, let's say all the magic is attached to the same
Let's go.
goop.
Yeah,
The same, what was it? Ether?
Yes.
Ether was the theory back in the day.
phlogiston,
Phlogiston.
Ether.
Whatevs.
the juice.
The juice. gluons, muons, gluons. I think some of those are actual particles.
Mm-hmm.
So let's invent a particle right now. We're gonna call it.
This land.
We're gonna call it this land. We're gonna call it
Land.
this particle.
No, just MP. It's just a point of magic.
Okay.
Magic point.
Okay, so you live in a world where there are little tiny invisible MPs floating around all around you. Everything that makes you up and makes the world up also has a little bit of MP in it.
Right.
Kind of like atoms.
It surrounds us, and binds us.
Out here in this world, out in meat space.
Penetrates all things. No, that's Shatner. No. Penetrates all things.
Out here in meat space with the billions and billions of stars and billions of atoms, we use an understanding of chemistry and physics to mush things together to make things happen. Or move things apart to make things happen. I mean, that's as good as magic, honestly. Think about cooking pasta. Pasta's magical. Anyways, so imagine a world like that, where you could light a fire a dozen times without understanding what exactly is happening between the flint and the steel to create enough friction to make a spark to light a campfire. We run around all day doing stuff that we don't completely understand on a molecular level.
I could not tell you. I could not adequately describe how any of the electronics we're using function right now. Not in a way that I would feel satisfied by.
Not in a detailed scientific way.
The most I could say is there are principles of conductivity. There's a system of binary information.
It's like a weave of energy that flows through the air around us, and we can do
I was trying
things.
really hard, and now you're just making up nonsense.
Right, but you see how it is, though. I mean, I think that electricity and electrons are one of the things that I have the most difficulty grasping, like in science.
Mm-hmm.
I usually have to take them for granted in order to understand other principles, you know? But so that's science. That's out here in meat space. That's us moving things around to affect our environment. We can do that all day without fully understanding the nature of all of the particles that we're pushing together or moving apart. And so if you lived in a realm, in a universe that had this extra MP particle that was attached to everything and responded to certain
Let's do it.
whatevers, certain stimuli and conditions, since it's so pervasive in the environment, you could totally, like, accidentally...
You could accidentally your way into a lot of situations.
You really could.
Although I will say that how often in your day-to-day living do you accidentally like write code, like computer code, which I think might be closer to
what you're talking
to
about.
spellcraft, right?
Right, no. But I do accidentally interact with electricity when I rub up on something that's fuzzy and then makes the shocks.
Yeah, that,
Right?
thinking about it that way, yes.
But what if you wrote in one coding language and then put it in a reader that read a different coding language? Some of the things would work and a lot of things would glitch.
Possibly. I think that it might be more helpful to imagine it as like as an engine.
You know what I think of it? I'm thinking of it
Or
as...
if like if two different, just so that way there isn't like a sequelizing element to this. It'd be like if you had a... It'd be like if you had... Oh, I was just watching a video about the making of Metro 2033 and how the developers of the game Stalker, they were responsible for, a lot of them were responsible for Metro 2033, and they borrowed a lot of their own work after leaving their original company, which is legally very, it's on soft ground, let's say, right? So I think it's sort of like, maybe if you put some information into the Stalker engine, you get similar results to what would happen if you were to run it through the Metro 2033 engine. Even later into the development of that game, when it apparently added a lot of middle elements that further distinguished them from one another.
That's I wonder if there's just an entire, well, I mean, in the case of Full Metal Alchemist, I mean, there really is an entire school of magic that seems to have to do with souls, but nobody wants to talk about it because it's like grisly as fuck.
Life energy.
Energy. Yeah, that is the energy of life and death. That's necromancy, isn't it? Like, isn't there a book that we have?
In D&D, necromancy, I think it is the manipulation of... It's varied over the editions. I'm actually generally pretty unhappy with how necromancy is portrayed in 5th edition. This is becoming too complicated to talk about. I'm gonna get a little further in this situation because these, they're all, that one was actually labeled as a Healy mermaid. They keep healing one another,
yeah.
It seems like. So I'm gonna try to crack that nut, and then we'll be back whenever I've made a little bit of headway. More necromancy thoughts. More nerd lore.
Yes.